Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes.
So we do not switch on the. You can keep your mics on mute unless you have something else to say, right? Well, for everyone. Yeah. Okay. So we're not going to be having the video on all the time. So because this is the first session, I wanted to talk a bit about the session to you. So I thought until then, maybe it's recommended that the video remains on. So this session that you've come to, this is titled Learn the Rope. And in case if you're wondering what Learn the Rope means, it simply means practice, right? Drill or practice. So what we are going to do for this session is also essentially practice, which is we are going to pick a few topics from your modules, right? And not all of them. So do not expect us to do every module. Every module will not be discussed because if you have already taken a close look at your syllabus, you will see that you also have modules in listening and speaking and something called vocabulary. So all of those things is not they aren't planned to be inculcated in this particular session. Mostly, what we'll be training you on are the topics which are closely related to grammar, or what we understand as functional grammar, as well as some topics in discourse, right? So discourse basically means something that's related to construction of language, right? So that includes modal verbs, phrasal verbs, some idioms and phrases, right? So, or even things like stress and aspiration, so on and so forth. So, anything that has or that can be learned via a rule or something that can be learned based on a pattern, you can do that through some kinds of worksheets and practice like this class, right? Rest of it, like vocabulary acquisition or pace of reading or pace of speaking, these things are usually practical in nature. And since we do not have any platform, I would say, or rather, we do not have that molded into our syllabus to have physical classes or have contact classrooms where you can be trained to do that. We do not take it up, right? But there are additional sessions. Some of them, I won't say they are like entirely useful in their approach or their conduct, but what you could do is you can come and check all those additional sessions. This is one such additional session, but this is more, like I told you, focused on the functional aspects of learning, right, based on the module. But in addition to this, you have several other programs which the announcements, I think, will be rolled out after the qualifier. So until qualifier, we do not usually start off those sessions. The only thing that you get before the qualifiers are these sessions, right? The Learn the Rope sessions, because these are directly tied with your modules on which you're going to take your exams. So those sessions might address some of these questions of speaking and writing, so on and so forth. But this session is not designed for that. Okay. So here we take up topics from the modules that are chosen, which, like I told you, includes functional grammar and some of those discourse elements. So what we do is the way we conduct this session is where you will have a very brief discussion, maybe 5 or 10 minutes of discussion on the topic at hand, and then I go ahead with doing a worksheet with you, right? So I have a set of worksheets that I use for each of these topics. Now, what I would also welcome would be you bringing in your worksheets, right? Or if you do not have a worksheet and if you have like a set of questions which are not part of the graded and the practice assignments that we've given you, right? Something that you have figured on your own, that you have maybe, when you were self-practicing, you got something over the internet or some other textbook and are related to the topic that we're dealing with, you're welcome to bring that. If time allows and if we are on a surplus of time for one of the sessions, then we can take that up. But in case there is no such thing, then I have my worksheet, right? So don't worry about that. I have something with me which you can practice with. And if you think there is something that has not been discussed in the session, a question that has not been addressed, or you think knowing that would be better for you to understand the concept better, then you can bring that in, right? I will not promise that every time you bring a worksheet, I'll include it in the session, but if, because a lot of it depends on whether we have enough time to do that, right? Now, I don't know how the situation looks right now, but as you progress, you will start having all these TA sessions and, other subjects and all that. So the crowd usually thins a lot by the time we, come to the fag end of the semester. So, which is why we keep it very basic and limited so that, whoever comes regularly gets something to do, right? So while you're welcome to do that, again, every time inclusion of them in the session may not be possible because time and space doesn't allow for that, right? But otherwise, you come and you solve these worksheets with me. I try to finish off the worksheets for that session the same day itself, the same time itself. But sometimes, because of the kind of topics you're dealing with, sometimes it stretches over to the following week. But that's all right. In any case, whichever topic we are taking up, this is how we are going to work, right? So this is the modus operandi for us. We discuss for about 10 minutes. We look at what this basic concept that we are going to employ is, and then we take up the worksheets to discuss. Any other special cases or anything else that we need to talk about it would be taken up as we solve the questions. Because certain questions, it's a question by question thing. So certain questions by itself will, give you some kind of a challenge. So if there is some addressal required, then we do that while we are looking at the question itself. But otherwise, this is not a big task, right? This is a very simple way in which we run. So meanwhile, if you have any questions with respect to conceptual clarity or anything that you've heard in the lecture that you've not understood, we can spend a bit of a time discussing that, but all that at the end of the session, right? So while we are doing the worksheets, it's better that we stay on the worksheet and the question that is discussed. If you have anything else additionally to ask, maybe the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the session, we can do that, right? So please mute yourself. Who's this? See, guys, keep your mics muted unless you want to speak, because it's very difficult for me to teach and then come and see who's doing what here. If it becomes too much, I'm sorry, but I'll be forced to remove you from the call, right? Because I don't want everybody else being disturbed because of it. You have a question, please raise your hands, right? Even if I don't see immediately, I'll come back and see, because while I'm teaching, I usually do not look at the meetings and calls as such. If you have any questions, you could leave it in the chat section, right? That's how. Okay, right. So also, this is one thing. So if you have any question, you please leave that in the chat section, right? So even if I do not see it immediately, I can come back and take a look at it once I'm done talking about the topic at hand, right? Any questions that you have at this point? I will see if the chat options are enabled. I did disable it before beginning the meeting because otherwise people make it into a socialization app, right? Asking where you are from and what you do and all that. So I did disable that, but I'll switch it back on so that in case you have questions, you can ask them. But anything else other than this? Any question that you have?
Ma'am, will there be any one-on-one talking session?
One-on-one what?
Talking session for improving our fluency on English?
You will get mails about that a little later. Right now, nothing. Unless you get active on it. In fact, we do not encourage taking them before your qualifiers are. So once that happens, you will get an email. Okay. Okay. Someone's hand is raised. You may ask the question. Or was it you who was asking? I think it was you.
Ma'am, your voice
Mhm.
is breaking.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Actually, your voice was breaking.
Ridhima, I am not able to hear you properly, but I was able to hear whoever asked me the question.
Ma'am, am I audible?
You are audible. I did hear you well. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Ma'am,
So
this is the first session I attended. Is there any other session already?
this is the first session.
Okay.
This is the first session for this particular segment. This is the first session.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, another thing, when you come to the session, it is recommended that you have already watched the lectures, because otherwise, what will not happen in this session is a revision, right? So this is not a revision session. And even if it is a revision session, no matter which subject you are attending, revision sessions are meant for people who have already revised the syllabus, right? So only then you can go to the session and clear your doubts. Or if there is something that you have left behind, then you can ask them to revise it with you. Do not consider this as a lecture session, right? So do not come and say that I don't understand that. Can you tell me what it is? So if you have not understood a particular part after having heard the lecture, then bring that part and let us know so that we can work on it. Giving you an entire lecture about a thing again is it's not a feasible thing, because this session is not meant for that. And even for doubt clearing sessions, before you come to the doubt clearing session, make sure that you have already watched the lecture, right? A lot of your doubts get clarified there. And in case something has been missed out or something has not been explained clearly or with clarity there, then you can bring in that to the session, right? Just for the sake of saving time, and also for saving time in the sense, saving time of everyone who's attending, right? That's why. Okay. So that is that. So I think if you do not have any other pressing questions, we can start for today's session. So for what I've decided to do for today's class, and I'm going to turn off the video, right? We do not require it while we are. So just a second. Yeah. So for today's class, what I've decided to do is to do a bit of a practice on the sounds, right? So the first module, I think something that you have already seen and you have watched the lectures on, which includes the sound system of English. Mostly the lectures are on sound systems in English. You may also have certain lectures in parts of speech. That we'll come to later, but for at least this session, we'll concentrate on the sounds of English, right? So maybe this session and the next session we'll do that, and then we can take up. If it's possible to finish it off today, I'll do it today itself. If not, maybe say 10 to 15 minutes of the next Monday session, we'll do this and wind it up, right? So mostly when you're talking about sound systems of English, there are broad two classifications, right? One is the vowels and the consonant sounds. Now, it's not like, we do not understand these sounds, right? If you look at the screen, what are these sounds that you see here? Do not bother with the IPA symbols, but if you read through the words that you have on the screen, right? The screen is visible to everyone before I begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. So look at all those words there, right? So you have beat, you have bit, you have bet, you have boot, you have words, you have cup, you have cap, you have foot, you have pot, bark. What are all of these? Forget about the symbols that we have here. If you forget about that, then what is the sounds that you hear? The major sound. Of course, you have consonants. I'm not getting into it.
Vowel sound.
Vowel sounds, right?
They are basically vowels.
Vowel sounds, correct. So these are all words which are used to represent the different vowel sounds in the English language, right? So how many do we have here? We have 12 vowel sounds, right? 12 vowel sounds. So just to show you this in a more structured fashion, if you go to the next slide here, look at this one, right? Are you familiar with this word monophthongs somewhere in the lecture?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what are these monophthongs? Monophthongs are basically pure vowels, right? When there's only one vowel sound involved, you call them monophthongs. Actually, you could do with just pure vowels also, but because you have another category of vowel sounds called the diphthongs. So since you have diphthongs, somebody thought that, okay, maybe we should also have the word monophthongs for pure vowels, right? So monophthong simply means just one vowel sound, right? Or the pure vowels that you have in English. Now, if you look at that slide, you see another division. What is that division? So you have pure vowel sounds, 12 of them. And within that 12 vowel sounds, you have two divisions now. One tier another tier of classification, right? One was vowels and consonants, and within vowels,
Ma'am,
you
can
have
I
pure
ask something?
vowels and then diphthongs. Sorry?
Ma'am, can I ask something?
Not right now. If it is not related to it, you can maybe wait for a while before, you can ask it. Let's not, disturb the flow. Is it something related to this or is it something else? Okay, all right. So if you look at the slide, you have monophthongs, and then what are the other broader classification here? Sorry, broader classification would be vowel and consonants. And then within vowels, you have the pure vowels or monophthongs, and you have the diphthongs. And within the monophthongs, again, you have a division. What is it on the screen?
Short.
Short and long vowels.
Short and long sound, right? So now, before we discuss anything else, remember that we are looking at a branch of scientific study of language called phonetics, right? And within phonetics, phonetics has several branches, and within that phonetics, we are only looking at the articulatory phonetics. Now, what do we mean by articulation? Articulation.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Your
your voice
voice
is
is not
breaking.
proper, ma'am.
We can't hear
Sorry,
you.
what's the question?
Mom, voice is breaking.
Really?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I do not know what is the problem because my network is fine.
It's clear now, I think.
Okay, so just, I mean, it could happen once in a while. Don't bother with that. If you're not able to hear entirely, then just let me know. Okay. Okay. So in phonetics, again, we are only for our syllabus, we are dealing with only articulatory phonetics, right? Which means we are only dealing with the production of speech sounds. We are not going to look at anything, at least at this point for your module 1. We are only dealing with articulatory, right? That is where we are only bothered at this point with how these sounds are produced, right? And how do they look like as they're produced, right? So in that classification, you have vowels, consonants, you have monophthongs, you have diphthongs, and within your monophthongs, you have the short and long vowels, right? As you see on the screen. So short and long, one should understand that this is a physical attribute. It's a physical quality of the given vowel sound, and it's only based on the length of time in which they are articulated. So one vowel sound and its counterpart, they are both the same, but the only difference between them would be the length in which they are articulated, right? The time of articulation, the time of articulation of that particular sound, right? But why are they important? Because when you change this length of the vowel sound and you use it in a word, the meaning of the word entirely changes, right? So what is the example for that? You have, say, something like ship, right? And you have something like sheep. So if you look at the pair of words that you have here, the only difference between these two words is one sound. Yeah, yes or no? Ship and sheep, there's only one sound difference between both of them. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
both the words have the sound sh and p at the beginning and the end of the word. But it's the central vowel sound. The vowel sound is the only difference that you have here. And even in the vowel sound, it's not an entirely different vowel sound. It is the long and the short counterpart of the same vowel sound. And we see that even that kind of a difference, even that very small difference, someone's phone or something is ringing. Please be on mute. Yeah. So even with that very slight difference of the length of that vowel sound, you see that the meaning of the word has entirely changed, right? One is the vessel ship, and then the sheep is the kind of animal, right? So the length matters because of exactly the same reason. And this could be same, this situation could be same across languages. Maybe in our languages also, not maybe, we can certainly find out a lot of words in our languages when the length of the vowel used in it changes, the meaning also automatically changes, right? So this is what we are looking at in the long and short difference of the monophthongs, and which is why it is important for us to know how they function. So let's look at these long and short vowel sounds, and maybe there's just one word each along with each of the sound to tell us what difference they hold, right? So what I'll do is I'll take the vowel sound and then I'll look at both the long and the short counterparts together instead of looking at them differently as the slide shows, right? So the
Ma'am,
first
can
one
I
you
ask
have,
something? Ma'am, can I ask something?
if it is related to this one, please ask, otherwise wait. Okay, do not ask me anything that's unrelated to this right now. That you can ask at the end of the session.
Ma'am, what do you mean about unrelated and related?
Which means don't ask me any questions other than the one that I'm talking about now. If it is a different question not related to the topic, then you keep it for the end of the session. That's what I meant.
Ma'am, just I wanted to ask, what is the monophthongs?
We just told you know what monophthongs are. They're pure vowels. Whatever you see on the screen, they're called monophthongs. All those vowel sounds are called monophthongs, or pure vowels for that matter.
Ma'am, so what do you mean about the number, the Greek letter I, U, E? Ma'am, ulta A likha na, opposite, mirror A likha. What do you mean about mirror A?
These are all these are all symbols that you use to represent the vowel sounds, right? So that's why I'm telling you, don't look at that particular symbol. This is not, because otherwise you'll have to learn the IPA symbols. Don't look at that. Just look at the words that you have on the side to identify the sounds, right?
Ma'am,
So
actually, this is Greek alphabet, I think. Lambda, you see, epsilon,
maybe, no, not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them they might have taken from that, but that's not a concern. Whether they're from Greek or any other Roman or whatever is not our concern. We don't have to look at it at all. Okay.
Actually,
You
I
focus on the
confused.
sounds that you hear.
Okay. So actually, I am confused here. What bit? What represent bit? Bit is salt and foot is salt. Is actually the vocal. Vocal. vocally जो भी हम बोलते हैं उस बेसिस पे इसको डिफाइन किया गया है ना.
हाँ.
Okay.
उसको ऐसे ही डिफाइन करते हैं. वो जैसे बोलते हैं उसको वैसे ही डिफाइन करना चाहिए. जैसे लिखते हैं ऐसे नहीं डिफाइन करते हैं. ठीक है. क्योंकि in English, see, again, I think last live session also we said the same thing. Do not look at the spellings, because spellings they don't form the basis of learning sound system of a language, right?
Okay.
So if you say foot, then even if you write F-O-O-T, which you might have a tendency to read as a long vowel, it's not a long vowel. You call it foot. Now this is a problem associated with the orthography or the spelling, and this is particularly a problem with English. So which is why focus more on the sound system and not on the spellings, right? As you learn it.
Ma'am, can I spell it and can you just check I am correct or not?
You just wait. Let's do that. This is not a one-on-one session, right? It's not a tuition thing. So let's do this first, and once we look at the questions, you can answer and see. All right. Wait. There's somebody else with a question. I heard someone's hands up. Yeah, is this Avni? Avni, are you speaking? I cannot hear you. Okay, in any sense, let's continue. So if you look at the first sound here, right, there's an E sound. And then what is the longer counterpart for that in the long vowel section? You have E, the long E. So two words here, one is bit and the other one is keep, right? I'll just keep writing that down for you in the chat box so that you can see it clearly. So you have bit and keep, and this is from the slide, okay? So bit with the short E sound and keep with the long E sound, right? Second one, you have oo. Now foot, we write it as F-O-O-T, but then it's pronounced as foot with a small oo sound, right? Do not get confused with the spelling. Again, I'm reiterating. Do not fall for the spelling, right? You check it with a dictionary, and particularly, I think Google dictionaries are useful in this sense because they have that speech options enabled, right? So you can check it with the online dictionaries and make it speak for you so that you don't go wrong on it, right? So bit, this is only when you encounter a new word in English, right? Some of it, maybe we know how to use it. Foot and all, maybe many people know, right? But whenever you encounter a new word, which you are, seeing for the first time, maybe you've never seen it, seen in the sense you might have seen it in writing, but you might have not heard people speak it, right? So if that is the case, whenever you encounter a word like that for the first time, make sure that you go to the dictionary and let it speak it for you to know what is the actual pronunciation. Okay, so with foot, you have the long oo counterpart, which is loose, right? Foot and loose. First one having the short oo and loose having the long O. So look at this, right? Both the words has the OO, right? So easy for us to fall into the trap that, okay, maybe this one has, a foot has, instead of the short oo in foot, you could end up saying foot, right? With a long oo. But this is the trap with English spellings, right? You have similar spellings representing different sounds everywhere. So be watchful of it, particularly in the case of vowel sounds, right? Because long and short will make a difference. That's why. Then the third sound you have here in the monophthongs in the short section is A, right? The E-like thing that you see in the slide here, that is A, right? A as in the word pen. So in this one, whatever the word given is get. Okay, so A, get, G, A, T, get, right? And then the longer counterpart for that given is what? Can you identify that from the long, this thing? Can you see it or should I scroll? No, you can see. Anything? Does A have a longer counterpart in the long monophthongs?
Yes, ma'am. Caught.
No. Is A and O similar?
No,
Caught
ma'am, it's
and
not
get
there.
sound similar? No.
Card.
Hard.
Hurt, right? You have hurt. The second one that you have after keep. That one, I don't know how it is with this, an epsilon inverted with a colon there. That particular symbol that tells you that that particular word could be counted as the longer counterpart for the A sound. So get and hurt, right? Get, hurt. Second one, hurt has a sound that sounds similar to a longer A sound, right? Now, if you look at the, okay, I am skipping the fifth one because that's a special kind of a vowel sound. I'm going to the the fourth one I'm skipping. I'm going to the fifth one in this slide here, right? What is that? This one, okay? I'm skipping this one, the one which stands for the. I'll take this one, okay? C-O-T. How do you say that?
Caught.
Caught.
The
The
caught.
O. Now remember the O sound that you hear in our languages, right? O sound, as in, the O sound that you have in our languages, right? That O is absent in English. What English has is a different kind of O sound. It has three different varieties of O sounds. We'll discuss that once we have also looked at diphthong. Two of them are the ones you see here. One is the short O, as you see, as you hear in the word caught, and then the long O, as you hear in the word taught, right? Two among the three that you have in English are these two. Okay. So caught and then taught. One is the long one, as in taught, and then the short one as in caught. Caught and taught, right? There is another sound which is similar sounding to O, but it's a diphthong. I'll discuss that while we are looking at the diphthong. But in the long and short counterparts, you have caught and taught, the O sound and the long O sound as in taught. Okay. Then comes the next one, a sound, as in the word cut. So does this one have any long sound?
मैम just please repeat two word मैम जो पहले बोले हैं उससे पहले मैम confused.
We had caught and taught, right? Caught and taught are the two short and long counterparts of the O sound in English. There's one more, which is a diphthong. We'll discuss when we talk about diphthong. Okay.
Caught and cut, no? Cut.
Now we are looking at cut. That has an sound. So does that one have a long sound here?
No, cut. It's short sound, no? Cut.
It's a short sound, but I'm asking, does it have a long sound? If you look at the slide, please look at the slide and tell me if there are a longer counterpart for that sound anywhere.
And cart.
Cart has R, right? Cut is only A. If it has to be a longer sound,
Hurt.
Hurt is correct. Just a second. Everyone do not speak together. Okay. Yeah, hurt. So is hurt a longer counterpart for the A, or is it a longer counter here? So this is the question that I wanted to ask you. Nobody pointed that out, but I want to ask this question. So do you
Sorry.
think
Wait.
do you
Can you?
think hurt is a longer counterpart for the sound in cut, or is it for get, or is it something else?
I would go with
You think hurt will fit here better with cut?
yes, ma'am.
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, since there are yes and no answers, I'll do one thing, I'll just put it right here, right? So remember, even for get, we said that A might have this hurt as a longer counterpart, the sound. And then for cut, again, now we are saying this could also be considered as a longer counterpart. We'll keep it like that. I'll come back to it in a while because there are something else that I need to discuss before we finalize. So for the time being, let's keep it like that, okay? Before we finalize. And then we have the as sound. As Shivam, can you please, let me finish this because you're speaking too much in between. Otherwise, we won't be able to finish this. Okay. So you have as sound, as sound. Does it have a longer counterpart? As in the word cat, right? K, at, cat. So does it have a long counterpart anywhere in the monophthongs? No, right? It doesn't have any. So this one then doesn't have we have an agreement on that. We do not have anything that fills as its longer counterpart. So that sound doesn't have a longer sound. Then the last one is E sound. Okay, this we can skip, but since it's there on the list, I'll just give you an explanation of that. In the British English particularly, right? So they have three sounds for E. Right, one is the short E sound, one is the long E sound, as you saw in what was the example we used? We had bit and keep, right? Bit and keep. So that is the more commonly found long and short E sound, as in the word bit and keep. But in the British English, they also have a slightly shorter than the E sound, the E sound, and now that appears at the end of words like happy, right? So it's like an E sound which is not entirely articulated. It's not fully articulated as an E sound, but it almost has the quality similar to that, right? It's somewhere in between sound, right? So even that is classified in the English sound system. But for our course, we only consider the long and the short E sound. So if you get the question in the exam about happy, right? If happy shows up in your exam questions, and then they ask you to identify the long or the short vowel in that, then you have only one sound at the end of it, which is the E, right? The short E sound. So the third version you don't have to bother with. We only consider the long and the short E for this particular course. So if happy or something of that sort shows up in your exam, then your answer is a short E vowel sound. Okay, short E.
Ma'am, what about and, meant? The
And is what
A
A
sound.
and as sound we already discussed, no, as in cat, and I told you it doesn't have a long vowel sound. We don't have it. That is a pure vowel without a long. See, every pure vowel doesn't have a long vowel, right? That is also what we are discussing. So
हैप्पी में
some of
ई
them
ई
might
किधर से आ
have.
गया मैम?
Huh?
हैप्पी में ई किधर से आ गया मैम? हैप्पी
E sound. I'm not talking about the E letter. I'm talking about the E sound. You don't hear E in happy. What is the last sound in happy?
yes
E,
मैम.
no?
Yes मैम. तो हैप्पी मैम ई नहीं सुनाई दिया इसमें, आई थिंक.
क्यों सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है भाई? लास्ट में आपको ई नहीं सुनता है क्या? पी के बाद, प के बाद में ह ए प ई नहीं सुन रहा है लास्ट में?
तो लास्ट में आना चाहिए. इसका मतलब जो लास्ट में साउंड करे वही. जिस कॉट में ट साउंड लास्ट में आया है तो उसमें ए को डिनोट किया. कट में कट, तो कट में भी तो.
शिवा, मुझे आपका सवाल समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. आपको क्या सवाल क्या है? आप करेक्टली पूछोगे मुझसे.
मैम कहाँ पे ई साउंड आना चाहिए मैम? लास्ट में कि
आना चाहिए की बात नहीं है. सुनिए, आप तो पहले मेरी बात सुनिए. हाँ, पूरा सुन लो, उसके बाद में बात करो, ठीक है? तो पहले बात तो कि आना चाहिए नहीं है. आप जब आपको एक वर्ड मिल रहा है और उस वर्ड में आप सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं, वो जितने भी साउंड से उस वर्ड को बनाया गया है वो हम सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं. हम नहीं कह रहे हैं कि लास्ट में ई आना चाहिए या ट आना चाहिए, ठीक है? तो अगर हैप्पी जैसे एक शब्द आपने लिया है तो उसके पहले आता है ह, शुरू होता है वो ह से, उसके बाद ए आता है, फिर प आता है और वो खत्म ई से होता है। तो हम सिर्फ इतना देख रहे हैं कि इस शब्द में कहाँ कहाँ वावल्स आ रहे हैं और वो वावल्स जो आए हुए हैं उसमें लॉन्ग कौन सा है, शॉर्ट कौन सा है, सिर्फ इतना ही देख रहे हैं। ठीक है,
ओके ओके।
तो कॉट
तो
में
मैम
बात अलग
इसमें
होगी क्योंकि वहां पे आपके पास दूसरे साउंड्स आ गए, आपके वहां पे जो वावल है वहां पे ई कुछ नहीं है, आपके पास ओ है, वो एक अलग वावल साउंड है। ठीक
ओके,
है,
तो मैम इसमें लॉन्ग का मतलब क्या होता है कि साउंड ज्यादा देर तक रहे ना, मतलब ड्यूरेशन उसका
हाँ,
ज्यादा हो।
ड्यूरेशन उसका ज्यादा होता है। ठीक है,
तो ओके सॉरी, तो मैम जैसे ह
हाँ,
प ई, तो हैप्पी में जो ए और ई रहेगा तो दो साउंड आ जाएंगे, तो हम कहेंगे कि ये लॉन्ग वाला
नहीं 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 नहीं
हाँ
नहीं नहीं नहीं, दो दो वावल के आने से हम उसको लॉन्ग नहीं कह रहे हैं, जो वावल उसमें यूज हुआ है उसका लेंथ ज्यादा होने से हम उसको लॉन्ग वावल बोल रहे हैं। ठीक है,
ओके
हम
ओके
हैप्पी नहीं बोलते, हम हैप्पी बोलते हैं, समझ गए?
ओके ओके मैम,
ठीक है,
मतलब कोई भी
हाँ
अगर एक लॉन्ग आ जाए तो उसको कंसीडर कर लिया जाए, ठीक है।
हाँ, कंसिडर किया जाएगा। वो लॉन्ग और शॉर्ट का डिस्टिंक्शन जो है वो आपके नंबर ऑफ वावल्स पे नहीं डिपेंड करता है, जो भी वावल दिया हुआ है उसके बड़े या छोटे होने के हिसाब से बोला जाता है
ओके
उसको लॉन्ग और
जो
शॉर्ट। ठीक है,
मैम जो लेफ्ट साइड में मोनोथन्स लिखा है तो उसमें जो ओ आया है मैम, तो ये शॉर्ट में ही होगा ना? आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग फॉर क्यूरियोसिटी।
मोनोफ्थोंग्स में,
यस मैम।
in the word monophthongs you're asking if it has a short sound or a long sound, is it?
यस मैम, यस मैम।
So that one, all of them have short sounds. Okay, all the
और
O
मैम
sounds that you hear there, they're all short sounds.
और मैम सॉल्ट में
क्यों नहीं समझी नहीं मैं, what was that?
और मैम सॉल्ट में जो ऊपर लिखा सॉल्ट SHORT में, इसमें भी सॉल्ट स्मॉल आएगा ना?
हाँ, शॉर्ट में नहीं, शॉर्ट में आप बताइए मुझे, you tell me whether it is long or short. Does short have a long sound or a short sound? This is for anybody. Those of you are in the call, you can answer that question. Not necessarily.
Long. Seems like a long,
Long
Short
vowel.
sound, short, ma'am.
long name.
Vowel.
Long.
The length of
Does
so is
I
what
mean
is
long, long
so
sound.
that's why it is
long sound?
Yes, ma'am, it's long sound.
हाँ,
सॉल्ट
so push. एक
Yes, ma'am.
minute. I was just waiting for you people to stop talking. Okay, short has a long sound. Okay, this one is not a small, sorry, what is that? A shorter sound. The word short has a long o sound, right? Short. हम लोग short नहीं बोलते ना, short बोलते हैं. So that is why the word short has longer o sound. Okay, and how about
तो वो
long?
सॉल्ट हो जाएगा ना कि मैं सॉल्ट खेला, सॉल्ट मारा, इट्स अ
हाँ?
गुड सॉल्ट। और ये तो छोटा है ना, सॉल्ट छोटा, सॉल्ट मैम वो सॉल्ट वाला हो जाएगा। आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड सॉल्ट बाय प्लेइंग
No,
बाय
you
क्रिकेट।
first tell me what is there in long. I don't know what your question is, first of all. Are you asking again whether salt has a long vowel or a short vowel?
मैम सॉल्ट में बहुत मैम जो ड्यूरेशन होगा, मतलब बोलने की जो वो होगी वो बहुत कम होगा ना। सॉल्ट इट्स अ वेरी सॉल्ट थिंग। या
Yeah,
और
yeah.
मैम
Salt
सॉल्ट
has a
कहेंगे तो
short vowel
सॉल्ट हो जाएगा
sound.
ना कि सॉल्ट मार दिया, ये करंट का सॉल्ट लगता है।
Dekho, salt
Yes,
has a
ma'am.
short vowel sound and short has a long vowel sound. Okay. Okay. Let's close this. See, like this, we can sit for 2 hours and discuss all the words. That's not the point of this class. So you figure out, if you have doubts with the questions, then go and check it in a dictionary and find out if it is long or short. Okay. Salt is a short vowel sound and short has a long vowel sound. Okay. Fine. So that is about the O and O. I don't think I want to get into the O and O anymore. Now, E and E, again, same thing. So as long as the E and E question is considered in English, we are only considering the long and short one. The third form, as you see in happy, we are not going to consider it for our course, right? We'll consider the E sound at the end of the word happy as the short vowel sound, right? We are not going to bother with the third type that is available in British English. Okay, that's not our point of concern now. Then the question that we had was about this hurt, right? Whether hurt is a longer counterpart for the A sound or a sound or something else. So what do you think it is closer to? A or a?
Maybe.
Is hurt?
Oh,
Okay. So
Or-
which means the word cut, right? Which means the word cut.
Yes, ma'am.
So you think that is closer to cut. So let's keep hurt with Kurt for a while. Now I want to introduce you to another sound, which is again a vowel sound. Remember we skipped this one sound here, right? The one, the sound which was there in the word the. Do you see? I told you I'm skipping the fourth one and going to the fifth one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
one, yeah, the sound that you hear in the word the, T-H-E, the, right? The definite article the. The last sound that you hear in the word the. How does it sound to you?
Short
It's an sound. So right? The sound. Now you tell me one thing. Does the sound, the vowel sound in the word hurt, right? H-U-R-T, hurt. Does it sound closer to the sound in the, or does it sound closer to the sound in cut? Cut, hurt,
It's close to cut.
the, hurt.
Cut.
Most of you will say cut only, but you need to listen it little more carefully to understand
Ma'am,
what.
it's closer to the.
Yeah, so say it one by one, right? So the, and then say hurt, then say cut, and then say hurt. It's closer to the sound in the, right? The last sound that you hear, the sound that you hear in hurt, the vowel sound is closer to what you hear in the word the last sound, right? And now this is a very special vowel sound. This is a vowel sound which is inbuilt and present in all the sounds that you say, right? Especially consonant sounds. If you have to say a consonant sound, anything like k or l or m or n or g, what is the last sound that you hear?
It's
The sound. So it is this sound, right? This last sound that you hear in the word the is also the last sound that you hear when you say the sounds like k, l, g, so on and so forth, right? So which is why we call this the inbuilt vowel. Okay, this is an inbuilt vowel that you'll find even in the smallest sounds like k, g, and all that, right? Not vowels, of course. Vowels don't need help from others to for the articulation, but consonants need, right? So you cannot articulate the consonant sound, any sound, without the help of this inbuilt vowel. Okay, this inbuilt vowel has a name. We call it schwa. Okay, I'll just leave it in the chat for you. This is not important for you, but since we are anyway discussing, I thought I should leave it as an information for you, right? So this is a vowel which is inbuilt in every single sound, right? In consonant clusters, I know you have had one session on that also. What happens in consonant clusters is actually that for two of the consonant sounds to come together, it is this inbuilt vowel that is, taken off or left off, right? So if I have to say cl, right? Cl, let's take the example of the word cluster, right? Cluster begins with the combination of two consonant sounds, k and l, right? K and l, right? K and l are fused together or they're clustered together to form the cluster kl. What is actually happening? K is losing its inbuilt vowel and then taking l with it to form the cluster kl, right? This is same across all languages. If you look at your own languages also, this is exactly how cluster formation happens. If your language has cluster, some languages do
Ma'am,
not
like
support cluster. Some do not support cluster. Like, if you look at Punjabi for that matter, they may not have too many clusters in them, right? But any other languages which has system of clusters in them, this is exactly the process. The first consonant sound in the cluster loses its inbuilt vowel to form the cluster with the second consonant sound. Okay, that's how the process is. So this particular vowel sound is the inbuilt vowel, or what's called schwa, and the vowel sound that you hear in the word hurt, it's the longer counterpart of this particular sound. Okay, not or a or anything. It is the counterpart of this particular vowel sound. So that means we have almost a set of 4 long and short vowels in English. First one is the E and E, then you have the U and U, then you have O and O, and then you have A and A, right? These are the 4 sets that you have in English. There are the other vowel sounds in the list. They do not have a long vowel, right? They're found only in their shorter form. They don't have a long form to it. Only these 4 vowel sounds will have a long sound. Okay. Right. So let's do one thing. I want to take you to the worksheet now before we can do anything else. We'll do the first two exercises and then close for today. And then next session we'll continue with diphthongs and then do the related exercise. Right. Just give me a moment. Let me share the screen with you. Yeah. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Go ahead.
May I? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Go
just
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ant, A-N-T, and ment, M-E-N-T. Ma'am, the A sound here, like in ant, it goes for long, and ment, it's like.
I cannot
short.
hear you clearly, Aditya.
Sorry,
Can you
ma'am.
be a little louder?
Am I louder now?
No, not really. But yes, go ahead. Let me try and see what the question is.
Thank you. Ma'am, I wanted to ask in two words like ant, A-N-T, and ment, M-E-A-N-T. The A sound in ant is going longer, and ment is like shorter. But ma'am,
No,
is there any? Yes, ma'am.
not really. Both the sounds, both the words have the short vowels. None of them have any longer vowel. Why do you think the first one has a long vowel?
Ma'am, like it has in ant that there is more stress. Like, ma'am, can you just pronounce it for me once so I get corrected?
It's same. I mean, whether it is A-N-D or A-N-T, I think it's and.
And ma'am, I used towards ant and ment, M-E-A-N-T.
Yes. There are two different vowel sounds. The first one has the A sound and the second one has the A sound. They are both short vowels.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Both of them are short vowels.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Ma'am, do we need to remember the symbols which are used for particular sound?
No, not required, not required. Only in the exam in case, so just keep this in mind. If you're asked to identify long and short vowel sounds, sometimes they might use the notation E, I. Okay, so I represents long E sound. Okay, or U. If there's a double U, then it means long U sound.
Ma'am, what about the words gate, late?
No, we haven't come there yet. No, that's they're all on a different scale. They're not yet discussed. So I'll come to those words a little later. But yeah, about the notation, O for the long O sound, right? And sometimes it is replaced with I and a colon. So if you see a symbol with I and any symbol with a colon, then it indicates a long vowel sound. Alternatively, they might use two letters of the same sound. Like for long E, they might write I, right? Like this. I'll just leave it here. I, or I and colon, right? So this is for either of these symbols would be used to indicate a long vowel form. Or oo and a colon might be used for long oo sound. O, or this would be used to indicate a long O sound, right? Okay, so either of this. So if you see this, that means they're asking you for the long sound. That's all. Then if you look at the question, let's look at the question here. Can you see the screen clearly, or do you want me to increase the?
No, ma'am, clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear.
Ma'am, zoom more.
Okay. So this is particularly an exercise on identification of long and short vowels, right? So you have the words there written already. So do not bother with the symbols. They are of no use to us at this point. But then if you know these sounds, know these words, how to read these words, look at them and tell me one by one, whether it has a long sound or a short sound. You don't tell me which sound. I don't want to know which sound it is. Just tell me whether the vowel sound you hear in the word is a long or a short vowel sound. Okay, so I'll read out the word for you. You just tell me. I'll read out the word.
Short.
Tell me. Okay, first one is short.
First one is short.
First one is short.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Second is long.
Wait. I'll ask you.
long.
Guys, wait. Don't run with the thing. So first one is a short vowel sound, right? As in cup. So what about the second one?
Long.
Long.
Okay. No doubts, right? Nobody thinks that it is short or anything, right? If you have doubts. If you have a different answer than others, then please ask. Okay. So sheet has a long vowel sound. No doubts, no confusions there. Third one is book.
No, ma'am.
Long.
Long
vowel.
short.
Short.
Short,
Short.
ma'am, short.
Short vowel.
Short, ma'am.
Book has a short vowel sound, right? Don't be fooled by the spelling, right? It has double O. I know double O is also used to indicate longer oo sounds in certain other words, but here it is a short oo sound, right? Book has a short oo sound. Okay. The next one is pen.
Short.
Pen.
Short.
Short vowel sound.
Short.
Okay. Good. So this is a short vowel. Now, next one is curd.
Long.
Short
Long.
vowel.
Short. This one has a
Long.
long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long.
It one sounds like short word. Short sound.
Ma'am, why curd is long?
It doesn't sound like a short vowel sound. You are saying it as a short vowel sound. That's game. But you say curd. Okay.
Ma'am.
Curd.
Long vowel.
Yes.
I have a doubt,
Long
ma'am.
vowel sound. I think it is long.
मैम आई हैव अ डाउट मैम कर्ड को कैसे स्पेल करेंगे मैम कर्ड मैम कैन यू स्पेल इट लाइक दैट कर्ड लाइक
How do you say curd?
कर्ड
So do you not hear the long sound?
नहीं मैम आप कैसे स्पेल करती हैं आप बेटर इससे स्पेल करती हैं मैम
मैं भी जैसे आप कहते हो वैसे मैं भी बोलती हूँ curd.
नो मैम
I heard curd and paratha for. Wait, no, you just fight. See, first of all, if you ask a question, have the patience for the other person to answer. ठीक है, उसके बीच में आप बोलते रहेंगे, मैं कैसे जवाब दूंगी आपको? Curd. So you say I had curd and paratha for lunch, right? I'm not saying I had curd. I'm saying I have curd and paratha for my lunch, right? So this is automatically a long vowel sound. I'm not saying curd, no. Curd. So whenever you hear, see when you say long and short vowel, na, don't think that okay, I can hear like there is one hour difference between saying e and e sound, right? It's a slight variation. Comparatively, the other sound is a little lengthier than the other one. So we are in no way saying that in bit we use e for a smaller sound, for a smaller interval, and then in sheet when you say it, you say the word after 1 minute. That is not the idea. There's a very, very small difference between both of this. Relatively, the other word is a little a little lengthier than the other one, the sound. That's what it means, right? So curd is how you say it. Okay, and this one has a long vowel sound. I'm not saying curd, right? Hurt, worse. All of them have a longer longer vowel sound. All right. Okay. Now the same
Can
question
you
will come
give
to
some
the
more
next word
examples?
also.
मैम कर्ड में जो फोनेटिक साउंड यूज हो रहा है उसको हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे?
उसको हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे मुझे नहीं पता. I don't know.
दही नहीं
फोनेटिक
He's asking the sound.
फोनेटिक साउंड
का पर डा पर ऊपर रा की मात्रा लगेगी कर्ड लेकिन मैम वो कर्ड
नहीं. Wait. Don't talk to teachers.
फॉर फोनेटिक साउंड नॉट वर्ड.
Okay. Phonetic sound is the long sound, and the other one, somebody was telling there is a ra ki matra and all. Chota, that is wrong. That's not how you say it. There is no presence of ra or anything in it. It's just the sound. It's a vowel sound. Okay, that ra sound in the English spelling is silent. You need to understand that. Okay.
And can you give some more examples?
I can give you more examples. It's found in words like verse, V-E-R-S-E. I'll leave it in the chat for you. So the word verse has the same thing. So you don't say verse, you have to say verse, right? Ver, and sa, verse. Then what else do you have? You have other sounds would be bird, right? B-I-R-D. That's bird. And the bird, right? Not bird. R shouldn't be pronounced at all, right? Bird. The bird. What's the
What about
verse?
church?
Church.
Yes, ma'am.
Church also can have the same sound. Yes, church.
And
Church
sunnah,
and
heard.
church.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, heard.
Herd, yes, H-E-R-D, yes, that's also one word that can have it. Her, and herd. That also has the same sound. Okay, as in herd or curd.
Ma'am, what about front?
Sorry,
Ma'am, what about front?
I can't hear you, Afsa.
She's asking
Ma'am, I
about
think
drum.
Hmm?
drum.
DRUM, drum. She's asking about drum.
Drum. Why will drum have a sound? It's drum. It's not drum, right? If it is a sound, then we'll say drum, not drum. That's the sound you hear in cut. That's a different vowel sound. Okay. Okay. Then next one is daughter.
So ma'am,
Sorry, you weren't clear at all. I couldn't hear you. Okay.
Ma'am, so
Next.
I'm asking that there is no Hindi Vyakaran used in it, right?
Hindi Vyakaran, no. We are dealing with the English grammar. There could be similarities between the two, but then we are not dealing with that.
मैम
Okay.
ऐसे लगता है कि हिंदी
Next
से
one
ही
that you
पढ़ाया
have
हुआ
is daughter.
It has long
Next
vowel
word is
sound.
daughter. Does it have a long or short?
yeah, it's long.
Long.
It's
Long,
right? Okay.
It's long
So
vowel
there's
sound.
another word that is there in the bracket, potter. What do you think about that? Does it have a long one or a short one? Potter.
Long.
Long.
Long one? Yeah. Right. That also has a long one. Daughter, potter. Right. You don't say potter, right? You say potter. You don't say daughter. You say daughter. Right. So all of them have long o sounds. Then
Potter or potter?
both of them have long o sound, Shivam. Both daughter and potter. Okay. Then comes fruit. Next one is fruit.
Potter.
Does it have a long o?
Short.
Short.
short,
Fruit.
long, long, ma'am.
Yeah. Fruit has a long
Ma'am,
sound.
it has long sound.
Yeah.
Long.
Fruit has a long sound. Fruit and book, right? Book has a short one and fruit has a long u sound. Right. Next is packet.
Short, ma'am.
Packet.
Short sound.
Yeah, short vowel sound.
Short.
Short.
Then
मैम ये diphthong भी है क्या?
then the next one is ka.
Long.
Long,
Long.
ma'am.
Long.
Long.
Now again in this word, see, remember that in the English phonetic inventory, this r sound, r usually is not pronounced until it appears in the beginning of the word, right? Anywhere else in the word, usually the r sound goes unpronounced, right? So you say teacher, father, brother, mother. Actually, the last sound that you hear in that is the sound, the schwa, the inbuilt vowel, right? That is the sound that you hear. It's not the r sound. I know in the Indian English, people do use brother and mother and father and all that. But if you listen to the people who speak English predominantly, especially in places, where people use English as the main language, you don't hear them saying father, mother and all that. The r is very, it's not at all pronounced. You say mother, father, brother, sister, right? So, even in the case of car,
so
it's the same, right? You don't say the r
Ma'am,
sound.
there's
You
an
say
example. Ma'am, there's an example inside the bracket. Is it Potter or Potter? How to pronounce that?
it's potter with a long o sound. Potter.
Ma'am, it's
No, I mean
P-O-R-T-R.
R is also sound silent there.
Yes, that's right. We don't say r here. Even in daughter, you don't say that. You say daughter, potter, right? Every time you have a r sound at the end of the word, that's not pronounced in English. That's how the English rules work. Same goes for ka.
Okay, ma'am.
So when you write the word ka in the phonetic language, actually you only write ka and a, the long a sound. Okay, the r is not written because it's not articulated, right? So that's about the r story. Then the next word here is spot. Does it have long or short vowel?
Short vowel.
Short vowel, right?
Short.
Spot has a short vowel sound. Okay, correct. Then comes fit.
Short.
Short vowel sound, correct? Yeah. Short is also a short vowel sound. And then you have the last one, which has again,
Long.
I'm not taking the second
Long.
vowel sound.
Long.
I
Second
think
vowel
it is
sound, I'm not
No, it
putting
is
it here.
Last
short.
vowel.
I think it is short.
Long.
Vowel.
Long.
Short vowel.
Again is what? Again is a short vowel sound.
Short.
Because remember we spoke about the inbuilt vowel, right?
Ma'am, again means
So
salt.
this
Again
particular
is
word has Shivam, please wait, let me finish. So again, this is a word which has the shwa sound, right? The inbuilt vowel. It begins with that vowel. So in the words like the or teacher or brother, we ended the word with the inbuilt vowels, right? But here you have a case where you're beginning it with that sound, which is the sound, right? So this one is a short sound. Remember that this inbuilt vowel sound, it's always a short sound. Right? Again, arise, go, right? Attain, right? There are several words in English. It's a very, very, very commonly, abundantly found sound in the English language. Can appear at the beginning of the words, sometimes at the end of the word, sometimes
okay,
in the
ma'am.
middle of the word.
So ma'am,
Right?
again,
A lot of these words. Okay. So
ma'am,
please
again,
make a note of this thing. Please
ma'am, again को
please be mindful of how much this thing has to come, guys. You really need to be a little patient. Okay, your question can wait. I'm not running away anywhere. Let me at least finish my point. Whatever question you have, it can wait, right? Nobody is running away. Just wait for a while. Let me finish up talking about it, because every time we are not going to come to this every time again and again, right? And while I'm explaining, I'm also supposed to give you examples of it. Just wait a moment. I'll call you. Do not worry about it. Okay, so again is one case, right? Then all the other examples that we spoke of, mother, father, brother, sofa, right? All these words, they also have schwa, or the inbuilt vowel sound at the end of the word, right? So in all the three positions, right? Whether the word initial, in the beginning of the word, at the end of the word, and the middle of the word, English language has abundantly this particular sound. There are many, many words which will have this particular sound, right? Although, it looks like a very useless and a very, very, very tinily articulated sound. This is actually found everywhere, very abundantly found in the English language. And this is a short vowel. And what was the longer counterpart to this? What did we discuss? The sound, as in the words like
Heart.
heard, verse, bird, third, church, right? All those examples that we just discussed before this, right? So that is the long form of the sound as you hear in the word again, in the beginning of the word again, right? So that is how you need to. And when you get a question on the long and short, I think in the last class, the last live session also, I explained this. You make it a point that you have a list of the long and the short counterpart words ready, right? So like if it is about, the question is about identify whether it has a long oo sound, then you take your pair out and see. So you should have a pair ready with you, one with the long and the short sound of the same this thing, right? Words with the same sound. So if it is, for example, say oo, then you have one with short oo sound and one with long oo sound, right? And when you have the word in the question paper, you take that word and compare it with these two words that you have for yourself, right? The table that you prepared for yourself, and see, which one does the word given in the question sounds closer to, whether it sounds closer to the word that you've chosen for the short oo sound, or whether it sounds closer to the word that you've chosen for the long oo sound. That way your task becomes easier in the exam, because there is no other way that you cannot sit down and learn all the words with the long oo sound and all the words with short oo sound. So this contrastive analysis is how you do. Okay, is that clear? Any question before I take question from other people who are waiting? Anything else? Okay, now you go. The first person in the queue is who is this? Rajat. Rajat, what question did you have? Is Rajat around? Okay, is Abhishek here? Abhishek?
Yes, ma'am.
Abhishek. What question did you have?
Ma'am, in the pronunciation of horror, like in UK's pronunciation, it's not long, but in United States pronunciation, it is longer. So like O is
Which word
more.
is this? Which word was
Yes,
that?
ma'am. Hot.
Which word?
Hot.
Spell it HOT, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Huh.
So, ma'am,
Tell
means
me.
I wanted to ask that which one we have to use. Like in UK system, it is used
Huh.
in long monophthong, and in US, it is using
Huh.
longer.
So if a word has two acceptable forms of pronunciation, right? If say, for example, like you said, UK says O and US says O, then we accept both. We could say that, both of it is all right for us, right? Whether you say it as a long or a short thing, it shouldn't matter. Because see, if the dictionary says so, then both has to be accepted, right? There is no other way.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So this distinction actually will also be applicable to this question that was asked about salt, right? So in the English spoken in the British region, it is actually a short vowel sound. So you say salt. But in the US pronunciation, if you see, you would see salt, which is pronounced with a longer O sound. So in cases where there is a clash like this, or when the your dictionary says that both is okay, we take both. Whether you say small or long, short or long, it's acceptable to us. No problem. Okay. Then Bhumesh, you had a question?
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask, is there any type of rules to clarify which one we should use, or all we have to do is recognizing the pattern?
About long and short vowels?
Yes.
No. So unfortunately, no rules for this. Okay.
So
I
all we
know
can
there
do.
are certain rules, but then I do not want to say that because more often than them working, they do not work. Right. So, for example, I have these are all things that people have derived by looking at sets of words. But then the problem with all of those rules is that they may not be applicable in every case. Right. So, you might go and use that rule in a certain word that's asked in the exam that simply may not apply. So, like we say, they're not foolproof, right? It's not like a very incriminating kind of evidence or rule. So we cannot provide that. I know of a few, but I do not share that usually in the class because they're actually a little counterproductive because they do not apply to all the words. And if something doesn't apply to everything, then it is not very good to use them. You cannot generalize. Rules can only be formed with generalization. So I would say a better way is to train your ears, right? Listen and train your ears to understand the length of the word. Do not go by rules.
Okay, so we have to recognizing the patterns of words.
Yes, yes. You will have to patterns. Again, I do not know if there's a pattern available, but you need to listen more. That's the point, right? You need to consume more content in English. You'll have to listen more in the English language to understand which one is what is used when. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Shivam.
Ma'am, it's not Shivam, it's Shivam.
You're Shivam. Okay, sorry. Shivam.
मैम ओके मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब भी अभी आप बोल रहे थे कहा कि फुल प्रूफ, तो यू से FOOL फुल और FULL फुल.
What do you think it is? Is it full or fool? Did I say foolproof or foolproof?
मैम फुल प्रूफ.
आपको क्या सुनाई दे रहा है? फूल सुनाई दे रहा है कि फुल?
फुल छोटा की मात्रा है
मतलब ठीक है, फिर मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ? मैं तो बोल के फुल प्रूफ.
मैम आपने फुल प्रूफ बोला.
हाँ.
तो मैम फुल प्रूफ होता या फुल प्रूफ होता है?
फुल प्रूफ होता है. मैंने भी फुल प्रूफ ही बोला है, फुल प्रूफ नहीं बोला है. वो देखो, समटाइम्स ना इन द स्पॉन्टेनियस स्पीच में समटाइम्स डिस्टिंग्विशिंग बिटवीन लॉन्ग एंड शॉर्ट बिकम्स अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट, क्योंकि इंसान जो है वो स्पीड में बात
आपने कहा था कि रिकॉग्नाइज करो, जितना ज्यादा सुनो उतना ज्यादा होता है. तो मैम इट इज मैम अब हाँ, तो मैम इसको फूल बोले, फूल
प्रूफ ही बोला है मैंने शिवा. Okay, I don't know. So this is why you need to train your ears also. ठीक है. And the problem is also that when people talk fast.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am,
he's just wasting time. We have many people in the queue.
Yes, ma'am. He is wasting time.
Ma'am, my second question is, ma'am, again.
So, एक minute, Shivam. One second. You listen to me first. So, this is your responsibility that you don't end up making other people say things like this. Okay? So when you're told something, You don't use it to charge it against somebody, है ना? क्लासरूम है तो आप ऐसे कुछ भी मत बोलिएगा बैठ के. आपको अगर कोई चीज बता दिया गया है तो पहले जाके 1 मिनट में आपको प्रैक्टिस नहीं मिलेगा. When someone tells you, you listen more. तो आपने listen
Okay,
किया?
don't waste time, ma'am. बस just
सुना
I
नहीं ना?
asking a question. Okay, ma'am. My next question, ठीक है,
तो
समझ गया.
सवाल आप पूछो, सवाल ढंग से पूछना सीखो. That is the point here. ठीक है? Now
Okay.
ask your question.
Okay. So, ma'am, ma'am again को again बोलेंगे या again बोलेंगे?
अभी कैसे बोला? आपने क्या सुना? कैसे बोला? Again बोला कि again बोला?
Again.
हमने तो again बोला नहीं, हमने again ही बोला.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है?
Ma'am,
So again has both a diphthong and a pure vowel, right? तो beginning में जो sound है वो pure vowel है, उसके बाद में जो आता है वो भी pure vowel है. So it's the same sound. Whatever you hear in the beginning of the word again is the same sound that comes in the second time also, right? And both times. ठीक है?
Okay. तो मैम जो पोर्टर है उसको पोर्टर बोलेंगे, पॉटर बोलेंगे?
टॉटर जैसे बोलते हैं वैसे ही पॉटर भी बोलेंगे. उसमें
Okay.
जैसे वो लॉन्ग वो लगता है वैसे ही लॉन्ग वो पॉटर में भी लगता है. ठीक है?
मैम जितने भी ये लिखे हैं मैम, इसको मैम शॉर्ट लॉन्ग करके फिर से बता दीजिए एक बार से जल्दी से.
क्या लिखा है? नहीं तो उसके लिए आप फिर से यू कैन वॉच द वीडियो अगेन, राइट? वो फिर से हमें करने की जरूरत नहीं है यहाँ पे. जितेंद्र
डिस्टर्बेंस होता था
नहीं,
मैम, या फिर लिख देती है.
नहीं तो इसीलिए मैं कह रही हूँ कि आप इसको वीडियो को देखिए फिर से. ठीक है? जितेंद्र आप पूछिए अपना सवाल. जितेंद्र
मैं थोड़ा लेट आया हूँ तो इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग कैसे मिलेगी?
हाँ, रिकॉर्डिंग मिल जाएगी आपको. हम लोग आप एक काम कीजिएगा प्लीज, आपके जो ये वीडियो रिकॉर्ड होके अभी कैलेंडर में आएगा उसमें प्लीज रिक्वेस्ट मत भेजिए. ठीक है? तो अभी क्या ये सेशन के बाद में जो बैकएंड की टीम है वो एक प्लेलिस्ट बनाएगी और वो उसको यूट्यूब में अपलोड करेगी. हाँ, और उसका जो लिंक है आपको इसी कैलेंडर में मिल जाएगा. ठीक है? तो 1 या 2 दिन में थोड़ा वेट कीजिए. वो जब पता नहीं उनको जैसे टाइम मिलता है वो करते हैं, तो बैकएंड में जैसे वीडियो उनको मिल जाता है वो 1 या 2 दिन में उसका प्लेलिस्ट बना के इस रिकॉर्डिंग को उसमें लिंक में अपलोड करेंगे. तो आप यूट्यूब में इसको डायरेक्टली देख सकते हैं. ठीक है? उस प्लेलिस्ट में जाके आप देखिएगा. चलेगा? ओके.
अभी तो कैलेंडर में ऐड नहीं हो रहा ना?
नहीं, अभी नहीं होगा ना, क्योंकि हमारा सेशन चल रहा है. तो सेशन कंप्लीट हो जाने के बाद में वो रिकॉर्डिंग जो उनको मिलता है उसको वो लोग अपलोड करते हैं यूट्यूब पे. ठीक है?
कितने दिन बाद होगा?
तो पता नहीं मुझे, 1-2 दिन शायद लग जाएगा. अगर नहीं होता है तो आप एक मेल भेज दीजिएगा हम में से किसी को. आपका जो भी डिस्कॉर्ड ग्रुप है या गूगल ग्रुप जो भी है उसमें आप एक मेल भेज देगा किसी को कि ये अपलोड नहीं हुआ है, तो यहाँ टीम में से कोई देख के उनको बता देगा. ठीक है?
और मैम नोट्स कहाँ से मिलेंगे?
नोट्स तो नहीं देते हम इसका. इस सेशन का तो कोई नोट्स होता नहीं है. अभी जो वर्कशीट्स वगैरह यूज करते हैं उसको अभी हम 1 दिन में अपलोड करेंगे. आपके सप्लीमेंट्री टैब सेक्शन जो है ना डैशबोर्ड पे, वहाँ पे जाके देखिएगा, आपको ये वर्कशीट्स मिल जाएंगे वहाँ पे. लेकिन आंसर्स नहीं रहेगा उसमें. ठीक है? तो अगर आंसर्स आपको चाहिए तो अपने सेशन में आना पड़ेगा. तो हमारा मकसद ही ये कि लोग सेशन में आके इसको लाइव सुने, क्योंकि आपका और कोई लाइव क्लास होता नहीं इसलिए. तो वो मिल जाएगा.
वेबसाइट पे पहले से मेंशन था. वेबसाइट पे पहले से मेंशन था कि अपने नोट्स खुद बनाना है.
हाँ, और देखो ऐसे सेशंस के आपको एआई नोट्स भी मिल जाते हैं, वो आप एनेबल कर सकते हो इस पे अगर किसी को चाहिए तो. कोई आजकल ये सब इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है ना, सब हो जाता है. तो देख लो आप. और अगर नहीं तो वैसे लेक्चर का तो ट्रांसक्रिप्ट ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है. सेशन का आपको आप एआई असिस्टेंट इसमें एनेबल कर सकते हो, रीडर या नोटर, उससे हो जाता है. ठीक है? Syllabus? What about the syllabus? Okay. ठीक है. Okay. All right. So we'll do one thing. It's 5:15 today. We'll continue with this thing in the next class, right? So the first exercise is done. The second question is also almost related to the long and short format, but it's not exclusively on the long and short part as it was for the other. For the first question, right? So we'll first finish that in the next class, and then we'll move on to the diphthong, right? I think with that we'll cover the first module to some extent, right? And then we'll go on to the consonant. So in the next session we'll finish off both the diphthong part and the consonant part, okay? And take up the other for that. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you, Mother Shishma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good evening. मैम एक और डाउट